Well, it's martini time again. I love this time of day. I get to kind of like sum up my adventures and ideas during the day and just let them come out in this happy hour or happy half hour. I put my iPad, my iPhone timer down here so I'll know when it chimes it's time to stop talking. So the title of this talk is Let's Put Humpty Dumpty Back Together Again. Or rather, remember the little poem, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, or all the king's men and can't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. It's the Democratic Party. Got cracked wide open. Can't put it back together again. All the Democrats can't put it back together again, you see. And so today on the Facebook, there was a little news blob passing through that Camilla, I think that's her name, Camilla Harris is joining with Bernie Sanders to endorse the single-payer healthcare plan. Single-payer. And I got really excited about that. Because I see it as a way to put Humpty Dumpty back together. No, not put Humpty Dumpty back together again. That's the old Democratic Party. I'm talking about laying a new egg, a new Democratic Party. Now, how do you do that? How do you put yourself back together again? How do you get up when you're all broken and fragmented and you can't find your pieces? They're all scattered all over. Maybe a hurricane, maybe your house got destroyed. How do you put yourself back together? Maybe you had a divorce. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe your health went south. Maybe somebody died. Maybe your dream crashed. Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall. Had a great fall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, fell off the wall. I don't know. But the idea is, how do you put him back together? Do you put the old Humpty Dumpty back together? No, that's broken. You can't put an egg back together. You can't put the pieces back together. If you have a broken egg, try to put it back together. You can't do it. What do? You lay a new egg. You lay a new egg. You create yourself anew. You create a new party. How do you do that? Well, you got to have an idea. If you're going to create a business, you got to have an idea. If you're going to fix your house, you got to have an idea. If you're going to help your family, you got to have an idea. If you're going to help anybody, you got to have an idea. And you got to have a single idea. You can't have a bunch of ideas. You got to have a single idea that unifies all of the pieces. But not putting the old pieces back together, but coming up with a new idea that uses the pieces of the world that are existing with an idea that restores, that creates unity. A single idea creates unity. It integrates. The eye of a hurricane is a single idea that creates the hurricane. Take the eye out of the hurricane, it dissolves. A single idea creates a force. It draws people in. A gathering force. Wow, bigger, bigger, bigger. You see, but it's a single idea. So this single idea has to be a new idea. It has to be an idea no one ever thought of before, because it's being created out of new conditions. Conditions are always new. When your dream crashes, your life falls apart, your old idea crashes, crumbles, burns up. You don't put that back together. You may try, but you can't, because conditions are changed. The reason the idea fell apart was because conditions changed. We have an idea, we have a world, we have a life. It's based on conditions. Conditions change, the idea crashes. You're in a marriage based on a single idea. The other person changes. The idea, unless you change with it, falls apart. You need a new idea. Most people say, oh, I need a new relationship. You see, get the idea? The single idea is a unifying force that combines an idea that unifies all the present conditions. So these single ideas are creative ideas. They have to be grasped. They come upon us in the night. They come upon us when we don't know what to do. All the scientists, great scientific inventions and art comes from a single idea that comes when you relax the effort to find the idea. We do this all the time. Crossword puzzles. What is that idea? And you relax, get a cup of coffee. Oh, there we go. Who is that? Tip on my tongue. Can't think of it, can't think of it. Let's do something else. Oh, maybe an hour later. Oh. So the idea comes when you relax the effort to get the idea. So the Democratic Party is, where's the Democratic Party? A lot of criticism. Oh, the poor Democratic Party. They just don't have, they're not united. Where is the Democratic Party? What are they going to do? They're all fighting against each other, you know. They don't have a single idea. Trump was a single idea, and he got elected. A very simple single idea. But this idea was not a unifying idea that united the country. It just united a section of the Republican Party that got him over the edge, you see. So that's not a single idea that unites the nation. It was just a single idea that united enough Republicans. So the Democrats don't need a single idea that unites the Democrats and doesn't include the Republicans. That's not the Humpty Dumpty we're looking for here. That's not the cosmic egg. That's not the American egg. The Democratic Party has to lay the American egg, not just a brown egg and the Republicans have a white egg. Get that? Isn't that cute? You need a white-brown egg. You need an egg that includes white and brown eggs. So I don't know what this egg will look like. But it's got to include, it's got to be transpersonal. It has to be trans-American. Now the problem, global warming, people thought, well, that's a cause. Now that's a single idea that ought to unite the country. But it's not. Even though we're experiencing the effects of global warming, it's not going to unite the country. And why is that? Well, let's look into that. We've got a little time here. Well, global warming is a metaphysical problem, is a religious problem, is a paradigm problem. Look back in history. Copernicus and Galileo said the Earth was not the center of the universe. It orbited around the sun. What? Said the Roman Catholic Church. That messes up our whole metaphysics. Our whole paradigm of reality was based on the Earth being the center of the universe. Okay, well that broke up the Middle Ages. And it broke it up, that broke up Humpty Dumpty. And it broke up into Protestant and capitalism and national nations and all that, you see. Okay, he adjusted to that. But then came Darwin. And Darwin said, man as a species is not the center of the species. Man is just evolves like any other species. He just evolves. He wasn't created and plopped here. He evolved like other species. They're all equal. What? You mean man isn't the center of the earth? Get out of here. Well, we're still working on that. But then global warming comes along. And global warming says, okay, you're changing the earth. What? God changes the earth. Man isn't God. That screws everything up. You see, if man can change the world that he lives in, well then, I'm responsible for the world I created. And I can't blame other people. I created my own misery. I created my global warming, and I ought to change myself. What? I thought Obama did it. You see? That destroys the whole paradigm of the other guy did it. I'm doing it. Man is doing it. So naturally, there's a lot of resistance to this. It's a paradigm shift. Okay. So you're not going to draw in the whole, you're not going to make an American egg out of global warming. You're just going to create resistance from the other side, from the Ann Coulters and all of that. So it's ridiculous. But single payer, now that's interesting, you see. The expansion of Medicare, or something like that, as a single payer. Now I have Medicare, so you can't tell me it's a welfare system. That's just going back to Reagan and the welfare queens. Been there, done that. So, all the other European countries have a single payer system. It's a single idea that unites the need, you see. And so we all realize now this is becoming a universal idea that universal health care is a right. We cannot survive unless we have health care. And one reason is because our culture creates so much stress disorders that we have to have hospitalization, have to have health care to take care of the stress disorders that our culture is creating. So the culture is responsible for most of our disorders, our stress-related disorders. There's a relationship between the culture we live in, the consumer culture we live in, the stress culture we live in, and the stress disorders. So society should be responsible for what is created, which is our diseases, the stress-related disorders, blood pressure, tension, diabetes, all of this stuff. Stress disorders, all can be connected to stress, mental stress. So this is like global warming. It's like health warming. That American society is creating stress disorders. So it should provide health care to take care of the stress disorders it's creating. It's responsible. You see? Because God's not creating stress disorders. Man's creating stress disorders. See, it connects up with the paradigm shift, doesn't it? So, the Democrats need a single idea. They need a cause that can unite the nation and create a new egg that includes, because see, healthcare spans the spectrum. Republican, liberals, Republican, Democrat, independents, all need healthcare. So healthcare spans the populations. It's trans-party. It's trans-political. So if the Democrats can find a single idea that creates universal health care, that can create the new egg. That moves the country out of the white egg and brown egg nest of two eggs, both claiming to be the American egg. You see, that's where the Republicans really got the edge, is because they were able to create the language and the mythology that said the Republican egg is the American egg. We're the patriotic egg. We're God's egg. We're the true American egg. That Democratic egg, you know, that's a cowbird. You know what a cowbird is? I haven't seen any lately. I used to, I just remembered I haven't seen them, but they would migrate through here. I had a hot tub, and I would get out in the hot tub at 4 o'clock in the morning, and the cowbirds would, and I had a bird feeder, and in the spring, and the cowbirds would be migrating, and they would come down and descend upon my hot tub and the bird feeder in this flurry of birds. Well, a cowbird, fortunately, doesn't live in my yard. They were migrating through. But a cowbird lays its egg in another nest, and its chick is bigger, and it kicks the other chicks out, and the mother comes and feeds the cowbird. I mean, one beak looks like another beak. So the cowbird, so the Republican Party was kind of like created the mythology where the real egg is the Republican egg and the Democrats are a cowbird. They just come and lay this egg in here and it's an alien egg. It's not an American egg. It's an Obama egg, you see. So the whole Democratic mythology, or the whole Republican mythology, was based on the mythology of two eggs. Our egg is the true American egg, and that's a cow egg, cowbird egg. Get it out of here. It's not a real egg, not a real bird. Or it's a real bird, but it's an alien bird. You get the myth, you get the idea here? So we need to have an egg that includes all of Americans. And if we can discover that egg, we can move mountains. Faith in an egg can move mountains, you see. Why? An egg is a new world. It hatches and creates chickens, creates life, you see. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? Which came first with the Democratic Party? A single idea comes first. A single idea that, like the eye of a hurricane, can pull in the energy of all the American people. And it can gain momentum and sweep up all of the objections, all of the anti-egg people, you see. It creates a new egg that is brown-white, black-white. You see, rainbow egg, well, we tried that. I don't know what the color of this will be. But healthcare is a single idea that can unite the American people, the working people. Because if you're rich, you can get health care whatever you want. So with the wealthy, that's no problem. It's everyone else that has a problem. It's everyone else that needs a new egg. So think about that. Thanks for dropping in.